Good morning, students. I am Munna Kumar Goswami and going to explain you life process, first chapter of 10th class. Life process, you know very well that this is essential topic and basic topic for biology students. In this topic or under this topic, we will discuss all the basic functions performed by all living organisms, either they are plants, animals or microorganisms. All organisms perform some basic functions which is known as life process. So we can define life process like all the basic functions performed by living organism to survive on this earth is called life process. So note down definition: all the basic functions performed by living organisms living organisms to survive. Survive means जिंदा रहने के लिए, to sustain here on this earth, to survive on this earth is known as life process. And now there is a question which comes in your mind that what are the life processes for which we are going to discuss about. Then note down it. And and they are movement, respiration, control and coordination, control and coordination, nutrition, excretion, reproduction, reproduction and growth. Got it? All the basic functions performed by living organisms to survive on this earth is known as life process, and they are movement, respiration, control and coordination, nutrition, excretion, reproduction and growth. In 10th class, it is very interesting for you to know that half of your biology syllabus is life process. If you see chapter wise, then you can find the chapter control and coordination is other chapter apart from life process, and reproduction is also a separate chapter apart from life process, but all these both topics comes under life process. So your half of syllabus is life process. So here we will go in details about all these 7 life processes. I'm going to give you trick to remind this live process. Message null. Message null. Message null is a short form by which you can memorize these live processes. Message means M for movement, R for respiration, S for sensitivity. Sensitivity means control and coordination. All living organisms are sensitive towards their environment. We will learn details of control and coordination or sensitivity in the topic later. N for nutrition, E for excretion, R for reproduction and G for growth. तो मिसेज नर्क आप याद रखेंगे, कभी भी आप नहीं भूलेंगे कि लाइफ प्रोसेस कौन कौन से होते हैं। अलग अलग बुक्स में अलग अलग तरीके से इन्हीं चीजों को इसी 7 चीजों को दिया गया रहता है। अब इन 7 टॉपिक से, 7 लाइफ प्रोसेस से आप समझ चुके होंगे कि इसमें से किसी एक के बिना किसी भी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म को सरवाइव करने में बहुत सारी डिफिकल्टीज होगी। डिफिकल्टीज क्या होगी, वो सरवाइव कर ही नहीं सकता है। सभी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म ये सारे काम करते हैं। तो अब हम लोग इन सभी 7 टॉपिक्स को, 7 लाइफ प्रोसेसेस को डिटेल्स में पढ़ेंगे 1 बाय 1 करके। ठीक है, हम शुरुआत करते हैं सबसे मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट टॉपिक, न्यूट्रिशन। Because nutrition provides us energy to do our work and growth, repair of damaged cells, all these things are performed by nutrition. So we are going to discuss most important life process, nutrition. We will learn nutrition in plants and nutrition in animals separately. इसको नोट कर लीजिए, मैं वाइप कर देता हूँ थोड़ी देर में। Now we are going to discuss about nutrition in animals. First animals, then plants. Nutrition in animals. यहाँ दिखाई नहीं दे रहा होगा क्लियरली, मैं थोड़ा बड़ा लिख देता हूँ। In previous classes, you have already learned about what are nutrition, what are nutrients. Nutrition is a process of getting food and utilizing its nutrients for several life processes. And what are nutrients? The important compounds of food like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals are nutrients which all organisms obtain from their food. And autotrophs like plants prepare their own food by the photosynthesis. They produce carbohydrates which is converted into a starch, and plants according to their needs they converted and synthesized their proteins, fats from that carbohydrates. We will discuss about that in nutrition in plants. First of all, we are going to discuss about nutrition in animals. What are nutrition? It is clear. Obtaining nutrients from the food is called nutrition, and utilizing nutrients to uh, generate energy and repairs worn out cells, growth. Nutrition in animals, all animals use food to get nutrients. All organisms, all heterotrophs, not autotrophs. Because autotrophs prepare their own food, it is clear. nutrition in animals, we are going to learn and know nutrition in human beings. First of all, human beings, then we will go in other organisms like amoeba, paramecium. Nutrition involves five steps in animals. First step is digestion. Steps of nutrition. Steps of nutrition. Steps of nutrition. First, ingestion. Second, second is digestion. Third one is absorption. Fourth one is assimilation. And last is digestion. Digestion. Ingestion means taking food inside the body is called ingestion. As we put our food in our mouth, this process is known as ingestion. Amoeba capture their food by their pseudopodia and put the food inside their body. That is also ingestion. Ingestion means taking food inside the body. Clear? Digestion. Digestion means breaking down the complex, insoluble organic compounds into simpler soluble compounds is known as digestion. In digestion, various organs of multicellular organisms works on food to digest them and separate and break down their compounds like proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins and minerals to use them in to generate energy and other things. It is clear? Digestion is breaking down of complex insoluble food into simpler soluble food which can be absorbed by our blood to transport them into all the cells of living organism. Next, third is absorption. Absorption, when food digest in living organisms or in human beings, we can say in our small intestine, complete digestion is completed in our small intestine. When once the food is digested, it is absorbed by blood because alveoli is present in our sorry, alveoli villi. Villi is present in our small intestine, finger-like projection, and this finger-like projection absorb the nutrients, absorb the digested food because it has rich blood supply, and blood absorb digested food and send them to the cells, all cells of our living organ of our body. Sorry. Next topic is assimilation. Assimilation means sending digested food in cells or targeted organs where they utilize to generate energy like in cytoplasm in mitochondria. That is another topic which will be discussed in respiration, because when that digested food go in cells, uh, some digested food break down in cytoplasm to generate energy and the rest go in mitochondria, and with the help of oxygen which comes from respiration, that will discuss in respiration. It is clear, assimilation means sending the digested food, absorbed food by the blood in cells, in all cells of living organism is known as assimilation. And last one is digestion. When food is break down, then some toxic substances also releases nitrogenous compound like ammonia and some nitric wastes, which is harmful and toxic for our body. So it is important for all living organisms, including human beings, to eject them from the body or get rid of the body. मतलब body से बाहर निकालना. That process is known as egestion. Now, note it. 5 steps. Now we are going to discuss complete process of nutrition in humans, in our body. Nutrition in human beings or man. Nutrition in human beings. Human beings means all man, either they male or female. Digestion is same. In human beings, digestion starts in mouth. First of all, I want to remind you, digestive tract or digestive system or organs associated with digestive system, which is already taught in previous classes, junior classes. Our digestive organs are mouth, esophagus, other name of esophagus is food pipe, a stomach, a small intestine, large intestine, and next one is rectum and anus. And some glands also associated with our digestive tracts. They are pancreas, liver, and glands of our stomach. We will discuss in details under this topic. तो डाइजेशन स्टार्ट होता है हमारे माउथ से. माउथ. In our mouth, both types of digestion take place. One is physical digestion and other is chemical digestion. Physical digestion means cutting down the food into small particles with the help of teeth, and chemical digestion means our mouth or saliva is not just water which helps to make the food slippery or wet. It also contains a salivary amylase. Salivary amylase means an enzyme which helps in breakdown of carbohydrates and sugars. So in mouth, both types of digestion take place, physical and chemical. Physical digestion means cutting down the food into very small particles, and chemical digestion means mixing of saliva which contains salivary amylase into food, and digestion starts from here in our mouth, in which carbohydrates starts to digest by the action of what? By the action of salivary amylase, which is present in our saliva. There are many experiments you have performed in your previous classes. If you put some flour in a test tube with water and some flour in another test tube with your saliva, then you find that after sometimes if you add iodine solution in both tubes, then the tube containing saliva doesn't convert it into what? Blue black color, because starch is not present in another test tube which contains saliva. Next, after mouth, food goes in our oesophagus. O is silent here. Oesophagus means food pipe. Food pipe. Esophagus, there is no digestion take place in esophagus. It's just a passage or tube or way from which food is transported to the stomach. Stomach. From mouth, our food goes in stomach through esophagus. Esophagus perform a special type of movement which is known as peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement. Have you seen a snake engulfing rats or frogs? You find that when a snake engulf rats or frogs, the food goes in their body by this way. It is clearly seen in their body that food is going in their body. Same way, when food particles come in esophagus, it expands, and when the food particles travel forward, it again relaxes to stop the backflow of food. इसको समझाने के लिए एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ। अगर किसी आदमी को हम खाना खिला के उल्टा लटका दें तो ऐसा नहीं कि उसके मुंह से सारा फूड निकल जाएगा, क्योंकि वो पेरिस्टाल्टिक एसोफेगस जो है वो फूड पार्टिकल्स को पहुंचाने के लिए एक्सपेंड होता है और फिर वो उधर से कंट्रैक्ट होते जाते हैं। ये यूनिडायरेक्शनल को मेंटेन करने की कोशिश करता है। दैट इज नोन एज पेरिस्टाल्टिक मूवमेंट ऑफ फूड इन एसोफेगस इन वन डायरेक्शन by the contraction and relaxation of esophagus is known as peristaltic movement, and food goes in stomach by the peristaltic movements. In stomach there are very chemical reactions take place. A wall stomach wall stomach wall contains some glands which secretes three essential enzymes. One is stomach walls uh, contain pepsin, which helps in breakdown of proteins. Other hydrochloric acid, which have two functions: kill microorganisms like bacteria enter our body with food, and other function is make the food acidic to act pepsin on the food, because pepsin cannot act without acidic medium. And other is mucus. Three very essential uh, things present in our stomach. They are HCl, hydrochloric acid, pepsin. They are also known as gastric juices. Pepsin and mucus. Mucus. What's the function of hydrochloric acid in our stomach? It kills the bacteria which come with our food and make the food acidic. There is only two function of hydrochloric acid. What does pepsin do? Pepsin digests the proteins, helps in digestion of proteins. What is function of mucus? Mucus protect the stomach walls from hydrochloric acid, because hydrochloric acid is very corrosive in nature. It can burn our inner stomach walls. So mucus protect our stomach walls from action of hydrochloric acid. After staying 2 to 3 hours, it depends upon the complexity of food reach in our small intestine. A small intestine means site of complete digestion. A small intestine. In a small intestine, I'm going to draw a diagram. Look here carefully, you will understand. This is food pack, this is a stomach. There is also an important thing in our whole digestive tracts or alimentary canal. There are many sphincter present which allow just proper amount of food to pass in next section of the body. A sphincter rings like a structure of like muscular muscles. Here food enters in our small intestine, which is very long, like 6.5 meter in and human beings, and ruminants also have very large, very long small intestine, and this is the site of complete digestion. In a small intestine, food get two types of enzymes. One come from liver. Liver secretes liver liver secretes bile. Bile. Liver secretes bile, which is basic in nature, and this bile is stored in gallbladder. Where the bile juices is stored? It is stored in gallbladder. Gallbladder. Gall. Sorry. Gallbladder. Gallbladder. And according to needs, from the gallbladder, bile come through the bile duct in a small intestine. What is the function of bile juice? Bile juices are yellow in color, which make the stool yellow color, and also make the food, half digested food, basic. Basic means HCl in a stomach have already converted the food into acidic, and on acidic food, pancreatic juices do not act. So bile juices convert the food into another. There is a leaf-like structure you can see in your book, and that is pancreas. This pancreas secretes three types of enzyme. They are lipase, lipase, amylase, and trypsin. Trypsin. Lipase helps in breakdown of large molecules of fats into a small globules of fats. Amylase, do you remember? Amylase, we have already learned about the amylase in our saliva. Saliva also contains salivary amylase, and here amylase is amylase comes from pancreas, so it is a pancreatic amylase, and other is trypsin. It helps in digestion of proteins. Amylase helps in breakdown of carbohydrates. Lipase convert the break down the large molecules of fats into small globules of fats, and trypsin helps in digestion of proteins. When the food is break down into small globules of small globules of fats, some enzymes secreted by small intestine walls or intestinal walls enzymes convert them into glycerin, and once the food is converted into glycerin and then into glucose, then the food is absorbed by the bloodstream and sent to the cells where that food is utilized by mitochondria or cytoplasm to generate energy that we will discuss in a respiration. Okay, thank you. Another, there is a leaf-like structure you can see in your book, and that is pancreas. This pancreas secretes three types of enzyme. They are lipase, lipase, amylase, and trypsin. Trypsin. Lipase helps in breakdown of large molecules of fats into a small globules of fats. Amylase, do you remember? Amylase, we have already learned about the amylase in our saliva. Saliva also contains salivary amylase, and here amylase is pancreas. Amylase comes from pancreas, so it is a pancreatic amylase. And other is trypsin. It helps in digestion of proteins. Amylase helps in breakdown of carbohydrates. Lipids convert the break down the large molecules of fats into small globules of fats, and trypsin helps in digestion of proteins. When the food is break down into small globules of fats, some enzymes secreted by small intestine walls or intestinal walls enzymes convert them into glycerin, and once the food is converted into glycerin and then into glucose, then the food is absorbed by the bloodstream and sent to the cells where that food is utilized by mitochondria or cytoplasm to generate energy that we will discuss in a respiration. Okay, thank you.